What's up, dogs? Today I'm going to talk about songwriting, just like kind of different approaches and stuff that I've taken. Maybe they'll be valuable. So the first approach is the kind of like what I'd call like the mathematical approach, where you build the song from the ground up from the instruments in particular, and don't focus on the vocals or the melody or the lyrics till the very end. I used to do this in Guitar Pro, and I think this is the way that a lot of metal music gets made as well. It kind of starts with the rhythm. I think that's a big thing. So yeah, I used to come up with like a kind of cool like phrase on the guitar or something like that, and then I'd put it in Guitar Pro, write the drums, write the bass, then continually move on and almost like logically and mathematically put this thing together, construct it, boom, 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 the pieces in place and everything like that. And then after it was done, I would also be able to listen back to it in Guitar Pro constantly. The cool thing about doing this is that you get to be I think you're generally in the producer mind as you're doing it as well, because you're listening back to the song all the time. It's like you're currently even demoing like the verse, then the chorus, and you listen back. You can make changes, and it's very much a perfectionist method as well. Getting all those rhythms right and everything like that is that it's quite mathematical and logical and things like that. And then at the end, you have that kind of like, broad stroke canvas, which is the bones of the song, that you can then like start thinking about a melody and start thinking about lyrics. And a lot of the time in that kind of scenario, I think you end up writing the melody first, sing along to it or play guitar and come up with melodies, and then the lyrics just fit into it. I think that's a lot of the time that's the beginner's method to songwriting as well. Finishing with lyrics. That I really do think that a lot of the time, finishing with lyrics is kind of like the beginner's songwriting approach. Don't get me wrong, I think that even Tool like do this, like they'll build the song first. It's very much to do with the genre that you're in as well. But kind of like the more I kind of like started practicing as a songwriter, the more I moved away from that, because I found that like, you come up with this awesome instrumental vibe, but like then there isn't as much room to move for melody or as much room to move for lyrics and stuff like that. And the more that I've developed, I've found that I like to guide the song with my lyrics and with my melody. I like that to be almost one of the first things I write. And then the song kind of starts developing under that, like the rhythmic structure, the harmonic structure, and everything like that. So this is the next kind of thing that I started doing. Well, it's not, but I'll move to this now because it was a goddamn good segue. The way I actually started writing, like maybe 2.5 years ago or something like that, is I actually moved to acoustic guitar instead of electric guitar, and I ditched things like Guitar Pro. And what I would do actually is lie on my bed with the guitar on top of me, just really relaxing. I found that relaxing is a really important thing to be doing while you're writing music, because you want to get into your body and just kind of like grooving with it and stuff. Yeah, and I would actually just like kind of almost like strum an open like E or something like that, and I would come up with a melody, like a loose melody, or I would just start talking words, and then I would get this vision of what like a story or something like that, or an idea or a concept, and then that almost like the concept and the melody that are happening over just this normal strumming an E would kind of marry and come up together as this good bond, and then lyrics and melody would then push forward, and I would constantly be imagining like what happens next in the story, or what happens next in this like lyrical journey and everything like that, and kind of go from there. And then like as I started just slightly progressing forward with the lyrics and the melody, I would then start adding chords and stuff like that, because it's like, oh, the story kind of changes here, or like something happens that's important, so like maybe the chords could change or the rhythm could change, and then what would happen, it would be this really like beautiful kind of like connection between it all, where they're all kind of intertwined and everything and moving together. And then once that happened, I would have like just a basic kind of acoustic version of a song, and then I would kind of like record it and demo it, and then I would start adding drums and actually developing the rhythm and stuff like that, and adding layers and things like that, and then it would just go and become a song. So it's like, it's almost the opposite. Instead of that, the Guitar Pro thing of like creating the backbone of the song, the instrumentation, and then putting the lyrics on top, it's like creating the lyrics that are this, and the melody and things like that, and the story that is huge thing that then actually develop this really strong thing to support it. And I've found that that works a little bit better for me. But I'm always actually just experimenting with different songwriting kind of like approaches, because I think I need to know all of them so I can sync up with other people when I work with them and help produce their music and stuff like that, because that's what I'm actually mainly interested in. And then there's the kind of like organic thing, getting in a room and jamming with your buddies. I did that between the Guitar Pro thing and that thing that I just mentioned. That's where I was doing that, jamming with buddies and just organically producing music and stuff like that. I think that's one of the best ways you can write music. I really, really do. I think that some of the best music I and the people I was with ever wrote, was then. But the important thing to think about, and I was thinking about this in the shower this morning, good luck getting in a room with a bunch of people and jamming and coming up with something really beautiful and organic and artistic and amazing if there's no chemistry between the people. There's no chemistry. So what I'm getting at here is like, chemistry is the foundation of organic music created by a group of people. Like, there has to be this like emotional understanding and this like fluidness flowing between you all, where the music is shared and going back and forth, and you really relate with each other, and you're almost like thinking the same thing as each other, and oh, he's gonna do this next, and oh, whoa, it's like good sex. You know what I mean? It's like really coming together and stuff like that. And then if you ever had sex with someone you don't have chemistry with, it's like a bunch of limp fish. You know what I mean? Yeah. So and that's what I kind of noticed. Like I think that towards the end of this songwriting phase in my like career or experience, the chemistry kind of died, and so did the music. So be wary of that. Be very, very wary of that. And you'll be like, oh, we've all got writer's block, or we're all burnt out. It's like, no, the chemistry's just dead. So like, that's a massive thing. And then I guess what I'd end it with is like logic and emotion. Logic and emotion is present in every songwriting approach that I've just mentioned. And I think that it has to be like almost an order. Like, I don't think you should be in your logic and your emotion at the same time, because it's a bit of a mind fuck. So I think the best way to start a song is kind of like in your emotion. Feel it. If it feels good, that's the thing. Hold on to that. If it feels good, then go. And then as it starts feeling good, develop, get in your feelings, and then step out, and then you can kind of analyze it from a different perspective, because that's the thing. The logic is the outside perspective that can make kind of more rational decisions. So like just something like, we might be doing this section for a little bit long, or like we might be a little bit overindulgent with like the layering here, blah, 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 blah. So like develop it with your emotions, step out, logic, just fix it up a little bit, go back in, start cruising, go out, it's like, constant, that kind of thing. And I think that really, really works. And the more, it's very difficult to do though, to step in your emotion and then into your logic, because, that means you're involving both of them, and then they can potentially just like that. But the more you practice it, the more you can kind of go in and out really smoothly, and then it starts working really, really well. And that's a thing that, generally I'm just like practicing all the time, because I think that's a really important part of producing music. I don't want to be working with anyone or mixing any music and be like constantly in my emotion or constantly in my logic, or like mishmash between the two. You know what I mean? I want to be feeling it when I first start mixing, or feeling it when I first hear an artist's music and interpreting it that way, and then step back and analyze, go in and out. Okay, so just a quick rundown on different songwriting approaches, emotion and feeling, and kind of what I think is good and bad, or what works and doesn't. That's kind of the vibe. Okay, peace out. Have a good day.